Greetings friends and fellow aliens, and thank you for watching this video. My name is David, I'm an author, I do YouTube stuff, that's why I'm here, and I'm happy that you're hanging out with me today while I attack three things, well, no, not attack, while I remind you of three things that you can do to start getting over self-doubt. So what is self-doubt? Well, self-doubt basically is bullshit. It's the thing that keeps us and prevents us from doing the things that we want to do on a day-to-day basis in our life, our goals, our dreams. That self-doubt can become really crippling, and that lack of confidence can prevent you from being happy and doing the things that actually do make you happy. And the weird thing about it is that it's truly internal. Nothing external is providing this self-doubt. It's all going on in here, and it sucks. Now listen, I struggled greatly with self-doubt in a lot of different areas, and in writing in particular. So I'm going to talk to you in terms of creative efforts, so like writing or doing art stuff or music or whatever it is, but it can be anything. It's a hobby, it's a new endeavor, it's whatever it is that you have a desire to throw yourself into, but for some reason there's just that barrier there, and your head is giving you these negative things that are preventing you from actually taking the steps to do what you already want to do anyway. Before I get into all this, speaking of creative works, this video is brought to you by me and my book, and I'm really hoping you check it out. All the links are in the description and in the comments. 300 some odd pages, an awesome supernatural story. I encourage you to pick it up. Listen, there are a few ways you can support this channel. This is one of them. I love it when people read the book and they reach out to me and tell me what they liked about it, or just start up a conversation. If you just want to hit the tip jar, the links are below. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm looking at doing more for this page, setting up memberships and all these kinds of things, and hopefully little upgrades here and there. So your support means a lot, and it really helps me to get the message out and get in touch with more people and bring everybody into our happy little alien community. That being said, onward with 3 ways to defeat self-doubt. So the first thing is, let's identify what it is that you want to do and what is holding you back, or what are you holding yourself back from. And it could be anything. You may say to yourself, well, I want to create music. I want to learn how to sing. I want to write a book. I want to whatever. I don't know, do poetry stuff from the top of a flaming canoe. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, if it's not dangerous, like a flaming canoe, we can work on that, right? So whatever it is, I want you to just picture that thing that you're having some doubts over. And let's just start to attack that one thing. So think of it. Put on your little thinking cap, figure out what it is. If you need to, go sit in your thinking chair, right? And imagine that one thing. And let's just handle that one thing. The first step into removing your self-doubt is going to be this. Change your butt. I don't mean just change your butt. I mean replace your butt. So what the hell am I talking about? I don't mean butts in terms of your posterior, right? I mean the butt that's in that word. Because here's what we end up saying when we have self-doubt. We say, I want to make music, but I don't know how. I want to sing, but I'm afraid I'm going to murder people. I want to write a book, but I have no idea where to start. I want to write poetry, but I can't find anything that rhymes with poetry. Do you know what I mean? There's a but in there somewhere that is creating this self-doubt. And a lot of times it's, I want to do this, but I'm afraid. Afraid of what people think, afraid of how people will react, afraid of how you'd be judged. It could be any kind of a fear, and that's usually where this kind of thing comes from. But we need to replace your butt. Replace your butts. How do we do it? Real easy. Practice it with me in your own head if you're in public, or just shout it out if you're in public. That's even more fun. But please take a video and show me. Replace the but with the phrase, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to make music, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to write a book, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to sing, so I'll just do it in the car with the windows up and nobody around. But that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do, right? Replace your butts with so that's what I'm going to do. it transforms that sentence, and it takes this abstract negativity that's just hanging out in the ether somewhere, and it makes it yours, and it makes it concrete, and it makes it so you're just saying, you know what, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. Now we have a different issue, right? We're reframing this problem of fear into a problem of just knowing how. Well, my friends, you're probably looking at this video on a cell phone. You have the entire internet at your fingertips. The whole entirety of human knowledge is just a Google away. So learn how. And you can say, all right, here come more buts. I want to do this, but I don't have time. No, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And that means we find the time. Even if it's just an hour in a week. You have an hour in a week that you're not spending doing something else. For me, this was a big doubt for me. It was, but I don't have the time to write. And so I kind of worked around that. And I made a point to be like, all right, look, I'm going to carve out a Saturday morning. And if I have to get up early, I'm going to get up earlier than I should on a Saturday. And I'm going to go do this thing. And that was my time, carved out my time to go start to write. When I wrote The Caretaker, boom, on Amazon, 150 reviews, 5 stars. I basically did like one chapter a week as I wrote through this thing. Over the course of months, it all added up. And then some momentum happened. And I was writing more than a chapter in a week. And I was able to edit more and churn out more because those habits started getting built. Because I replaced my butt. For me, the longest time it was, I want to write a book, but I'm afraid of what people will think. And it took, unfortunately for me, a tragic event to get me past that, to really just kind of grab my shoulders, shake me, and wake me up. And that was when my brother passed away. And I realized that, you know what, I don't have time to sit here and worry about my butt. I have to do what I want to do. And damn everybody. I don't care if you want to read it. I don't care if you like it or you don't. I have to get this out. It's not for anyone, but for me. So that's what I did. I wrote the book, and I'm writing a second one, and I'm churning out short stories. Yesterday, I wrote 5,000 words. Who am I? So your first goal is to start replacing your butts with, so that's what I'm going to do. Which brings us to the second task in removing self-doubt, or at least making progress towards eliminating this nonsense that's going on in your head. The second thing is something that I need you to keep in mind 100% of the time. Nobody cares about you. Now, I don't mean family and friends. Obviously, we have people in our circle, in our social circle, that care about us, and I certainly care about you. I want the best for you, which is why I'm talking to you right now about all these things. But what I mean is, the outside world, they don't care. They're not going to care. And that's the important thing, is to remember that nobody cares about you until they do. What does that even mean? It sounds like twisted logic, but think about it for a second. Nobody cares about you until they do. You have to perform. You have to put something out there that will resonate with people. The way to do that is to just be authentic and remind yourself, so that's what I'm going to do. Learn the steps. You now reframed the problem and made it more concrete. If you don't know how to make music, you can learn how to make music. You can watch tutorials, you can practice, and what you produce at first may not be very good, but that doesn't matter. You're doing the thing that you want to do. And true, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares if you're sitting there by yourself listening to something you produced and you're like, well, this isn't really that great, I can do better. Nobody cares. Nobody knows. So eliminate that idea that everybody's watching you, because they're not. They don't care. Even on this channel, at my very best, like one of my best videos maybe has like 100,000 or 120,000 views. That's not a lot. Considering the population of the world at large, that's really not a lot, right? So it's important to keep that in mind. And people will start caring about you when they know that you're authentic and that the things that you are saying and doing and producing come from an original place, an authentic place. Because people out there have doubts, just like you, just like me. So when you start to show that and you start to push past it just a little bit and you replace your buts with, so that's what I'm going to do, then you're going to start to realize that nobody cares about you until they start caring about you. And all of a sudden you're going to get a little bit of attention. And a little bit of attention is going to be like, hey, I really like what you did. That was really cool. And people are going to follow you. They're going to follow your story. They're going to be invested in you. And this is really, really important because that's what authenticity does. It's slow. You can't buy followers. You can't shout out your window or from the rooftops for people to watch what you're doing or listen to what you're doing or read what you're doing. It's not going to work. You have to put yourself out there little by little and keep honing your craft and what it is that you really want to do, and do it to make yourself happy. And that's it. Everything else falls into place after that. You're not doing it for anyone else. You're not performing for anyone else. You've just replaced a but with, so that's what I'm going to do. Now you're doing the thing and you're working on it. And as you get better, people take notice and it resonates with them and they resonate with you. And all of a sudden there's this really magical connection that happens. Look, I went through it on this channel. Started this channel, and of course my first video was like 4 views, right? But then eventually I start putting out more and speaking my mind, and the algorithm gods favored me for like a minute, and more people start to see and hear, and it starts to get out there. And all the time I'm honing the way I deliver a message, what I want to talk about, and what it is that's really important to me and my principles, and that's what I'm sharing. And then that starts to resonate more and more. And then people share that with others because they know that somebody's struggling with the same thing, or somebody likes the same thing. Somebody wants to read the same kind of story that they're reading. So they share my book. And then that gets out there more. And now they're interested in more things that I'm writing. See, this all just kind of snowballs and expands. And that's the trick, is to understand and let go of the fact that everybody's going to watch you and judge you. They're not. Nobody cares. They're going to forget you. The second they see you, it's just gone. You're out of their view and you're gone. But if you keep at it, that's when they start to care. And when they start to care, they stay with you. I have many people here that I have known for years on this channel. And I appreciate you so, so much because you saw what I was doing and you saw that I'm trying to do it in an authentic way and it resonated and you stayed with me. And you guys are the freaking best. Which brings us to the third point. And this one is more in line with getting yourself out there and understanding the frame of reference that you need to have in order to get past self-doubt. The third thing is to bring people into your orbit. I want you to imagine yourself as a planet out in the solar system. Maybe you're Mercury, maybe you're Mars, maybe you're Venus, or maybe like me, you've had too many carbs and you feel a bit like Jupiter right now. Regardless of which one you are, a planet doesn't need to justify itself to everybody else in the solar system. It doesn't work that way. If you're a planet and you have a gravitational pull and some little meteor comes by, it's going to be like, hey, what's going on, right? And it comes into your orbit. And that's how you need to think about your creative endeavors and what you're putting out into the world. You're not out there to shout. Jupiter doesn't go knocking on Saturn's door, like go out of orbit, hang out with Saturn, be like, Saturn, can you just pay attention to what I'm doing, please? Because it would make me feel better. Thank you for validating my feelings because I'm really insecure. Jupiter doesn't do that. Jupiter stays where it is. And whatever is attracted to Jupiter hangs out with Jupiter. That's how you need to think of yourself. Bring people into your orbit. I've had so many carbs that I see people floating by my orbit all the time. Different kind of orbit. It's a joke about mass. You know what? Never mind. But this is the thing. There is no getting out there and doing this thing for the first time in front of people and so on and so forth. We know that nobody cares, right? Until they do. And we know that you need to be authentic and just kind of focus on yourself to do what really makes you happy. You've already said it. I want to do this, but. And we've replaced your but. And you understand that nobody cares about you until they do. Well, now it's a matter of bringing people into your orbit so they gravitate towards you and the things that you produce. The only way to do that is to be honest, be authentic, and work at it. That's really all there is to it. there doesn't need to be any self-doubt because nobody's watching. Nobody cares. And you can do the things that you want to do and you want to make happen. Listen, I get it. Self-doubt is really complicated and there's a lot to this. And it can be more nuanced than that. You can have moments where you tried to do something, got a really bad reaction from people, and it just makes you very shy to do it again. But you have to understand that you are living the life that you want. You're not living the life that they want, or they expect, or they decide to judge you for. Who actually cares? You shouldn't. You really, really shouldn't. You're not going to make anybody upset for doing what you want. And if you do, that's not a person you want in your orbit anyway. People will be proud of you for doing your best at something. Those are the people that you want around you. And you want to offer that same support to them and their endeavors, which is what I am trying to do right now. I feel really, really lucky. I've pushed past a lot. I've been through a lot. I produced a work that I'm very, very proud of, which is this one. And I'm producing more every day now that I'm proud of in increasing ways. And I feel my skills getting better, and I feel my craft getting better and better, and I feel like it's getting noticed. And it's a great feeling. And I want that so bad for you. I know I've got a bunch of you insecure folks out there, and I really want to try and bring you out of that and bring you out of your shell. Start creating and create with me. If you want to write with me. Just and write to me, right? If there's something that's been in your head and you're like, man, I really want to do this, but like I'm a little afraid, I don't mind giving you a kick in the ass. If you just send me a quick DM, I'll DM you back and I'll just say, shut up and do it. Because that's what it comes down to. You don't need to be out here worrying about what the world thinks because the world's not looking at you. So do what it is that makes you happy and you will feel very, very fulfilled. And when you get to this point, where you're feeling more confident, you're producing more, and you know it's of better quality, do what I'm doing. And try and lend a hand and help some others out so you can bring them out of their shell as well. This is how we grow the whole alien community, man. We're bringing more people on the mothership right now. Quick recap. Replace your butts. Remember that nobody cares about you until they do. And bring people into your orbit. Don't go begging them to pay attention to you. You don't need to. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope to catch you very, very soon. Keep an eye on this space. Things are happening. I'm setting up a membership soon, where you'll be able to be a member of the channel, support the channel on a regular basis, and get some perks as a result. So I've got lots going on, and I just really hope you'll join me for the ride. Thank you so much, and I'll see you really soon.